What we're going to be making is a kind of an abstract pattern design, kind of an optical illusion design. And I got this idea off of a Zentangle website on Sakura products. And I'm going to adapt this for elementary students. So I'm going to give the directions in a very simple form, easy for elementary kids to understand. And that's why I'm kind of remaking her video so that young kids could do this. The first thing you're going to do to make one of these patterns is to draw several circles. And we're going to vary the size of a circle. This does not have to be perfect. I'm going to start off kind of in this upper left corner. And I'm going to start off, and look, if you're looking at my finger, it's going to be a circle about 3 fingers wide. And you can go ahead and draw along with me. And if you draw it slowly using a black marker, it doesn't have to be, if you look at mine, exactly perfect. It does not have to be. Okay, so we're doing it in the upper left corner, about 3 fingers wide, and it's a circle as best we can. If it's a little lopsided, no big deal. So go ahead, draw along with me. Now we're going to vary our sizes. Here we have a circle that's 3 fingers wide. Now I'm going to make one, and I'm actually going to make part of a circle. I'm just going to make a large arch connecting 2 sides to my paper here. Just a large curve, and that's part of a giant circle. This could almost be like, kind of looks like planets the way I'm making them right now. And then I'm going to make another circle down in here. I'm going to make my circle, I'm going to say I'm giving some guidelines. This is going to be the top of my circle, and this will be the bottom of my circle. So this is going to be probably bigger than my hand. There we go. And then I'll go side to side. This will just help give some guidelines. Side, side, and then I'm just going to arch them. Curve, curve, and I'm arching. This is how I'm making a large circle. Just makes it a little bit easier. And again, my circle is not perfect. So yours does not have to be exactly perfect. If you make a mistake, just redraw the line. We are literally putting probably hundreds of lines on here. If you make a mistake, just continue. Ignore your mistake. I know it's hard to do, but once you have hundreds of little lines on here, you're not going to notice a teeny mistake. There's no way. Now the next thing we're going to do is connect all 3 of these together. Do it thin, a straight line, and go slow. These lines need to be done pretty evened and straight. So take your time and be neat about it. This is called craftsmanship. If you do this sloppy messy, then it won't look as good because it's kind of like an optical illusion design. It's a graphic design. When you bring a line, when you're making a line, make it intersect. Have it touch the other line. And these are vocabulary you're learning in school, where lines intersect. Now I'm double lining this. So we're going to put another line. Go slow and keep these parallel. And parallel means they're equal distance apart. So you wouldn't want one thick and one skinny where it ends. You want them to be as equal as you can. So try and do it as parallel as it can. And if it's not so parallel, don't worry. Just the next time you make your line, make it a little bit, make it better. Take your time. Okay, once we've hooked these all together, we're going to make a few spokes come out. And I'm going to call these the spokes, and these will be the circles or the suns. Now, you just bring this out, and I'm going to make it like rays. So double line, keep them parallel, and we're making some rays come out. You don't want to put too many rays in. Some kids were putting like 20 rays in over here. You only need about 4 or 5. If there's a big space, right in here, you see there's a huge space. This tells me I need to divide this with a line. Up in this corner, I have no lines here, so I want to put some of these straight lines coming out. straight. Again, trying to keep it as straight as you can, keeping your craftsmanship nice and neat. And then again, here there's a big space. So wherever you see a big space, just divide it in half. Try and get it equally done, again, with your parallel lines coming out. Make sure it intersects. And then assess how everything is. Does this look okay? Or maybe another ray coming here. This is kind of close. I could probably use one right here. And I'm just going to connect it right there. Now, once you've done all your rays, now we're going to start the patterning that we're going to be doing. So if you follow this, and if you stop working for a minute, and I'm going to show you the process, and then you can build on your own. So that's just so that you get the idea down. We're going to be doing it in a pattern, and we're going to be making our lines. First, we're going to be making all the circle lines, then we're making all the straight lines. We can call these rays or spokes. So we're doing the circles, then the straight lines or spokes. And that's what you're going to be doing. Every circle, then every spoke. And this pattern you must follow. It must be every circle, every spoke. Every circle, then go to every spoke. And you must alternate. When you alternate, you'll end up with this pattern that recedes down like a stair step. You see how it's going down? If I just did all my lines, then it would be all long lines. I don't want it to be long. I want them to be alternating. See how it's stair-stepping down? So this is the pattern that you will follow now. You're going to be making another line around the circle now, intersecting perfectly and carefully. You're going to go underneath these spokes. You're going to skip over the spokes. Don't draw on top of them. And every spoke area, you're going to do all your circles and skipping your spokes. So every circle area now, you're going to give another line to. And you're going to end up filling in all the circles first. And then you go to the next area and do alternating spoke. Go do the spokes. So fill in your circles, circles, just very carefully, make sure it intersects. And once all the circles are now filled, so I've made another line around the circle. We're building our design step by step. Then I now build every spoke, and I redo all the spokes. Every spoke gets another line, one on each side. Some kids were doing just one line on their spoke. It's got to be on both sides. See how I'm forming this now? Every spoke, both sides. Both sides, both sides. And it's kind of like weaving. We're drawing the weave. Every spoke has two sides. And when I first started doing this, I started counting my lines on my spokes. I have 4 lines here. I have 2 lines here. This tells me I need to do these spokes because every one has to be the same. So then do your 2 lines on these spokes. Once all spokes are done, then you're going to go back to the what? Circles, right. And you're going to make another pattern. You're going to be making another row of your circles, kind of like another stair step. So you assess, see if you're all done. I see this is not done. Now you go back, and my next thing is going to be the circle again. So now I do the circle, 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 circle. Now the paper that we're doing, because we're in elementary school, we're doing this on 8 by 10 copy paper. And we're using Sharpies. I would suggest for older kids, you get the smaller artist trading cards. That's what they do on the Zentangle websites. In the Sakura products, they recommended to use their products and their micro pens. But with this, because we're using bigger paper, because it's easier for us, you can use your bigger black, black markers, black fine line markers. And just continue your design until your entire paper is filled up. But remember, you have to do it in the pattern. You have to do circles, then your spikes, the spokes. Circles, spokes. Every circle, every spoke, every circle, every spoke. And you'll end up with a fine line, intricate stair-step design. And when you do them on, if you look up their websites, you do them on with tiny paper, this forms almost like a star pattern. This comes down and forms like a star coming around the circles. And just have fun making your design.